All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us here this afternoon for this important announcement that's going to directly impact thousands of families across Monroe County. I first want to start with a special thank you to our Congressman, Joe Morelle, who is joining us here today. Our community is so incredibly fortunate to have a representative at the federal level who is dedicated to securing so much funding for our area, funding that can be used to uplift and support our families, and without whose support we wouldn't be able to make these changes today that we're talking about. Also with us today is a local child care and elder care provider, Bridget Shumway, president of Generations Childcare. We also are joined by the CEO of the Children's Agenda, Larry Marks, who advocates tirelessly for better health care, education, and so much more for our families and children. We're also joined by Kizzy Ware, a parent who is right now participating in Monroe County's child care program. And we're also joined here today by so many members of my team at the Department of Human Services. As we all know, for too many working parents, child care can be both an economic necessity, also a barrier to advancement and greater opportunity. Right here in New York State, the annual cost of care for an infant can be more than the annual cost to attend college at one of our state universities. The Economic Policy Institute reports that the cost for infant care in New York is more than $15,000 per year, whereas tuition for a student at SUNY Brockport is a little more than $14,000 a year. I want everybody to think about that for a minute. It's more expensive to have your infant child in daycare than it is to send your teenager to college. That's an incredible burden on hardworking families. Ensuring as many of our families as possible can access the quality child care they need is a priority of mine, because child care is necessary to be able to work, to provide for their families, or to pursue training or other educational opportunities. Child care must be a priority, though, for our entire community, because if we're going to fully recover from the economic hit of the COVID-19 pandemic, all of our working parents must be able to find and keep good paying jobs, or undergo the training that they need to pursue work and a path to prosperity and stability. We can't let a lack of access to childcare hold people back from a better future. That's why Monroe County lowered the parent fee for subsidized daycare twice now, once in 2020 and again in 2021. And that's why we enabled the Department of Social Services in 2020 to start issuing child care eligibility certificates to parents who need child care fast and can't wait for the bureaucratic process and paperwork to clear. This is all just common sense. But now we have a new hurdle to overcome: the pandemic's effects on child care providers. When their income becomes unstable because they don't get paid, when kids are absent because they're sick or a parent or guardian is sick, or for many other pandemic-related reasons, it's very difficult for our providers to stay in business, which in turn makes it difficult for them to take in children. So today I'm announcing 4 new changes to Monroe County's Child Care Subsidy Program that will help make care more accessible and affordable, and will give our child care providers more stability and economic certainty. Effective January 1st, when a parent is in the subsidized care program, Monroe County will pay their care provider for up to 80 absences each year, the maximum allowed under the law. This will ensure parents can keep their child enrolled in their chosen program and helps to stabilize revenues for child care providers. That 80-day coverage limit is nearly 4 times the current minimum requirement of 24 days, which the State Office of Children and Family Services requires counties to cover. Next, I'm decreasing the parent fee for subsidized child care to 1%, the lowest allowed under state law. For the hardworking parents in our child care program, that's going to be $1.7 million that they see in out-of-pocket savings just this year, an average savings of more than $900 for more than 1,800 families in our area. That's $900 to pay bills, buy groceries or clothes, or to save for a rainy day. That change takes effect on February 1st. But that's not all. Our Department of Social Services partnered with the Child Care Council to make that certificate of eligibility program I talked about earlier even easier and faster for our parents to access. This means parents won't have to risk losing out on job opportunities because they can't secure child care fast enough. And retroactive to December 1st, we now guarantee families entering the subsidized care program 1 full year of care with very limited exceptions. This means fewer parents will be left wondering whether they'll have the proper child care for their kids. I'm proud to say that Monroe County programs currently provide child care assistance for nearly 7,500 children across our community. That invaluable assistance makes sure our working parents, especially those making lower wages, have the access to reliable, quality child care that they need to keep their jobs. Having a successful future isn't always about finding a job. It's often about making sure that you can keep that job. And unfortunately, for too many people and hardworking families, access and cost of child care can be a roadblock to that path to prosperity. So that's why I'm proud to announce these new initiatives for Monroe County. These 4 enhancements to our child care subsidy program mark an important milestone in our efforts to help protect young people, to enhance the lives of their parents, and to help ensure that no parent ever has to forego greater opportunity because of a lack of child care. Right now, more than 2,500 families in Monroe County receive some form of child care assistance. That's 2,500 of our neighbors, our friends, our colleagues who are doing everything that they can to try and prosper while ensuring quality, reliable, and safe child care for their children. And of those 2,500 families and anyone else who qualifies today, today's announcement means the lowest parent fee for child care allowable under state law, 1%. Easier and expedited access to the certificate of eligibility for subsidized child care, 1 full year of guaranteed child care once a family qualifies for our program, and up to 80 paid absences for our child care providers. Monroe County is a proud leader in child care access and assistance for our hardworking and deserving families. It's my hope that more families will explore the help that Monroe County has to offer so they too can get the help that they need and they deserve. All you have to do to access our program is go to monroecounty.gov. You can also call our hotline at 753-6960 to review your eligibility. So with that, I'm happy to introduce our Congressman, Joe Morelle. Congressman Morelle is a staunch ally of our working families who helps secure the federal funding that is needed to support the kids, the parents, and the child care providers we're talking about today. Because it's those federal block grant dollars for child care payments that come down and work their way to the county so that we can do these programs and we can make these types of adjustments to make sure that child care is as affordable as it can be for our area residents so that they can get back to work. So with that, I bring up Congressman Morelle.
Good afternoon. I want to start by thanking the county executive for inviting me to participate, and I see the deputy county executive, Corinda Crossdale's here, and so happy to be with Larry and my longtime friend Bridget and Kissy to talk about this. But I'm really grateful for the diligence in finding solutions for our community during these unprecedented times, and I continue to say about the county executive that it's hard to imagine coming into office and finding such a series of challenges you have to face. And while we're trying to continue to send resources from Washington, it's really the investment that the local community has to make and make judgments about what they feel are the best use of the dollars. And today's announcement is certainly no exception, but I'm so grateful to the county executive for continuing to hit the right spot and hit the right notes and to continue to work to raise the bar for people and community of Monroe County. So, and this is about uplifting working families, I think is the exact phrase that the county executive used, and I think that's exactly what this is. As the county executive noted, child care expenses are a major strain for Monroe County families, strain for all American families. Here in New York, the average annual cost for child care, it depends what year you look, but the average cost is north of $12,000 a year, more than $1,000 a month. And if families have more than one child, the cost will go even higher. Statistics show that on average, a family with 2 young children is spending 23% of their income on child care every year. It's an extraordinary number. 23% of their income places an enormous burden financially on people as well as emotional. So that emotional stress, given all that we've gone through in the last 2 years, makes it so much harder to raise your children in a healthy and productive way. So the lack of affordable options makes it prohibitive for parents particularly mothers who, let's acknowledge it, are still primary care takers in most cases and remain in their jobs. There is a 21.8% gender gap in workforce participation between mothers and fathers in New York State. Nearly a quarter, 21.8% participation gender gap. And we know that that's been certainly exacerbated during the crisis. So with the odds stacked against them this way, it's no wonder working families are struggling more and more each day. So I'm proud to have worked with my federal partners to have delivered resources for the county by providing funds necessary to ease the burden and expand our child care subsidy program. So increasing access for parents and stabilizing revenue for providers, which is, as the county executive pointed out, is really an important element that we should not miss. The ability to make sure that these providers are stabilized when it comes to their finances is incredibly important. And that, again, helps families because not only will they have resources, but they're going to have peace of mind about the providers that care for their children. So this is putting real money back in the pockets of parents, and I believe continues to be transformative. So in the House, we passed the universal child care provisions in the Build Back Better Act, while I have expressed publicly and will continue my disappointment that the Senate hasn't passed it yet. But we continue to be committed to making sure that this gets done, and we're now working with our Senate partners perhaps on a new Build Back Better or something like it, which will continue to invest in children and families. So we're going to continue to work at it. I'm grateful, though, to the county because they have stepped up. They've continued to step up. The county executive continues to provide leadership and make sure that those federal dollars, which we're securing and continue to try to get back here locally, are being invested in the right way. And this is certainly the right way. And I do want to thank the advocates for all the work that they continue to do to make the case on why child care is so important, particularly in 21st century America. So, the county executive, thank you again for the invitation to be here. God bless.
Thank you, Congressman Morelle. Next up, I would like to bring up Larry Marks. He is the CEO of the Children's Agenda, which is an advocacy organization that works tirelessly to advocate for better health care, education, child care, and so many other issues that impact children from across our community. And with that, Larry Marks.
We are so pleased to be here today. This is a great day for families who've long been struggling with child care, getting the support they need and a little bit modicum of justice back in their lives. Quality, affordable child care fulfills our society's fundamental obligation to provide for the well-being of our children. It's also an economic necessity. Parents can't work when they don't have child care. Parents are constantly telling the Children's Agenda about their struggles to afford quality care, having to choose between paying for child care or a job or school, transportation, or other necessities of life. The most recent data from the Economic Policy Institute shows that specifically for Rochester, parents spend an average of almost $9,000 per year for child care. That's almost $750 a month. With the changes being announced today, Monroe County, as the county exec announced, is lowering its parent copays to the absolute bare minimum allowable by New York state law. By our calculations, a family of 4 making the highest amount allowable to still qualify for assistance will pay only $464 a year in child care. On an income basis, almost half of children under 12 who live in or just above poverty will get care as they would get care and education in our essentially free public school system. The other major change helps keep struggling providers, many of which are small women-owned businesses operating on razor-thin margins, open to serve families. There has been a built-in disincentive for providers to accept low-income working families using assistance when those subsidies do not pay for child absences like private paying clients do or pay for too few. Providers have high fixed staffing costs. They can't lower those costs by telling staff not to come in when a child is absent. So they either eat that lost income or make it up by charging private paying clients even more. Now that the county is covering absences for families on assistance, it will stabilize revenue flow for the providers. So the Children's Agenda commends County Executive Bello and his administration for for responding to our community's needs. Investing in quality, affordable child care now yields many times over the lifetime of a child in the health, education, and lifelong success. Children who have quality early learning experience are less likely to drop out of high school, use welfare assistance, or become a teen parent, and more likely to go to college and have good health as an adult. Monroe County is a leader in New York for how we can transform the child care sector to work better for children, families, and the economy. State officials should follow this county's lead, and we hope to partner together with the county to make quality, affordable child care available to all families, everywhere, and at all times. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Larry. Next up, we'll hear from the child care provider's perspective, what these changes mean to the community. We have here Bridget Shumway with Generations Childcare.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I don't have any prepared remarks, so I'm going to be brief, but I also will warn you I'm Irish. And so a couple weeks ago when I learned about the absences, I was doing happy dances all over my office. This is a game changer. So let me try to put it in economic numbers real easily. You have staff, you have rent, you have utilities, you have food, right? And all of a sudden, you're not going to get full reimbursement on that child because the child is out with an ear infection, heaven forbid right now with all the COVID stuff, and you don't get paid. So when I learned that we were going to be able to allow those families not to lose their spot, and we didn't have to give it to somebody who pays us privately, I was ecstatic. I was so emotional. For 28 years, we've been serving this community. We've been working tirelessly with Children's Agenda. We knew a couple of years ago from Monroe County that things were going to change. We saw positive things coming from the county, and we kept fighting for it. The last thing I'll say, because I really want a parent to speak, is it is an equity issue. It's not right that families who can afford any kind of care and go anywhere can make that choice. Children who live in homes that don't have those resources should have the same choice. And that's what they're being given today, and that's what we're giving those families today. So thank you so much. We are so happy. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you, Bridget, and thank you for what you and your team have been doing. And the daycare really workers all around the county for the last 2 years, particularly during the pandemic. This has been very tough for daycares and providers. So being able to provide support to daycare providers as well as families, as you heard from both Larry and Bridget, actually helps everybody in the system and saves costs for everybody. So I think that's a really good point to make. So our last speaker, because we heard from the daycare provider, now we want to hear from a parent and how changes like this will help people in the system who are working and sending their children to daycare. And so we have here today Kissy Ware, who is a parent who can speak to you from her perspective.
I was happy to be asked to attend today's event, as I am a parent of 2 children currently attending Generations Childcare Center before and after care. I am a single parent who is able to work because of the child care subsidy program, which allows me to secure safe, high-quality care for my children. The environment has also allowed them to grow and flourish while I have been able to pursue education and work opportunities. During the past 2 years, it has been hard on most families due to the pandemic, dealing with concerns about our children's education and overall well-being. But not having to worry about losing employment due to the lack of childcare has been very rewarding. Also, during the pandemic, removing the obligation of paying monthly fees for many months was very helpful to a lot of families. It was very reassuring to know that when my children or myself was sick, that I did not have to worry about absent fees or losing our spots at the child care center. It gave a peace of mind and helped to make safe choices for our health as well as the health of others. Then, when the parent fees returned, it was surprising news that parent fees would be at a reduced rate, which helped a lot of families who have been having financial hardships due to the pandemic. I am truly appreciative to the county executive and his team for making it easy for single parents like myself to be able to work and pursue education opportunities and grow and develop in positive ways. Thank you for giving us a peace of mind knowing that child care is a subject that our families do not worry about as we build better futures for our families. Thank you.
Great. All set. Thank you, Kissy. Welcome to that topic. Sweet. On topic questions? Anybody have anything?
It's a few changes happening here. How is the county covering the cost of this, or are there some unrealized savings that are?
That's a good question. So it's a little bit of both. So this is a in total a $58 million program. $53.5 million comes to Monroe County from state and federal block grant dollars, and then Monroe County put $5 million of county dollars into this program as well. This is being funded both for two different ways. One is an increase in the dollars, and the other is that the program has been underutilized for the last couple of years. So there has been realized savings that we can reinvest in this way to make sure we're helping people. Because of that, though, I would encourage families who are low-income families. The eligibility requirement for this is based on the federal poverty level, and it's a sliding scale. So we would encourage you, if you need help paying for child care and may qualify for this program, to please reach out and give us a call. 753-6960. You could also go to our website, monroecounty.gov, and check your availability with our team.
Can I ask, is there a wait list for this program?
No, there's no wait list.
So
Nope.
there's available spots?
There's available spots right now. Yep. We good?
You mentioned increased funding. Was that increased from the state last year? I'm trying to remember how that was.
Yeah, I'm going to get that to you afterwards. Yep, I can get that to you. Yep. The exact numbers. Good? Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate